On Wednesday, the 1st of August 2018, Legacy Initiative International held a press conference which was tagged Unveiling Legacy Initiative International at the Sheraton Hotels and Towers, Ikeja, Lagos. In attendance were the Grand Patron of Legacy Initiative International, Chief Kenny Martins, President of Legacy Initiative International, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, executive members of Legacy Initiative International, as well as distinguished media practitioners from different media organizations. In the welcome address, the President of Legacy Initiative International, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, welcomed all to the ceremony, noting that the organization is a pool of like minds with the aim of preparing Nigerians for responsible citizenship and credible leadership. Professor Bolaji Akinyemi further added that with the alarming rate of insecurity and lawlessness in the country, religious groups in Nigeria have a huge role to play in rebuilding the nation as they are advocates of peace in the country.
Over the years, attempts are being made to stop the carnage of senseless killing in the nation, but the mutual distrust among the adherents of the Islam and Christian faith has been a clog in the wheel of achievement of much results. The Christian faith teaching and doctrine can be summarized in one word: love. Also, the Islam faith and creed and teaching emphasize majorly one word: peace. Since we, the adherents of these two religions representing over 95% of the population of Nigeria, believe and advocate love and peace, it is evident that the insignificant microcosm of a population who are sponsoring and engaging in this dastardly act cannot lay claim to any of the two faiths. The Christian love and the Muslim peace must come together to rescue Nigeria by offering right leadership. We appreciate you, the members of the Fourth Estate of the REN. Your effort at setting agenda for the nation in all ramifications is commendable and exemplary. We appeal for increased collaboration to enhance the realization of these lofty projects. In the course of this conference, our Grand Patron, Dr. Kenny Martin, will let you into the full detail of the heart of Legacy Initiative International. Once again, I welcome you to this occasion. Thank you for your time. God bless you.
This was immediately followed by the recognition of executive members of the organization, guests, and various media organizations present. In his address, the Grand Patron of the organization, Chief Kenny Martins, began with the acknowledgement of guests present, after which he proceeded to the discussion proper. He said the opportunity to have met different religious and opinion leaders in the country gave him an insight into the enormity of the challenges presently facing the country and the need for all hands to be on deck to reposition the nation. Chief Kenny Martins noted that the organization is neither a religious organization nor a partisan political organization, but a body which seeks to tackle social problems by building consensus among national elites in the country. He called on leaders of the two faith groups in Nigeria, Christians and Muslims, to overcome their interdenominational and interfaith differences in order to emerge as the most potent force for the choice of political leaders in the country and ultimately bring about the rise of ethical governance in Nigeria without turning the country into a theocracy, which is an entirely different form of government from the democratic system.
The state became a state's bank address. We believe that what Legacy is doing, just so spiritual leaders sit down with put an end to money politics. Then the true leaders of the people, the true conscience of the people, the people in whom the nation believes and can move us to the next level, can therefore emerge. Oh yes. Enough is enough of military general politics. bodies of violence and AK-47s.
Oh, yes.
We need to put an end to this. We must create a future for our children.
Next were goodwill messages and opinions from distinguished participants who preferred solutions and the way forward for Nigeria.
Now, the most important thing for us to do at this point is to realize where the crisis of Nigeria is coming from. Once we can realize that, like the Grand Patron has rightly mentioned, the religious leaders are now beginning to understand and come to terms that, listen, religion, rather than unite us, is what is dividing us. And we must come to that point in which the Christians and the Muslims must sit down together and say, look, there was a religion we were practicing when the British were here. When we were under the British, we were all living together peacefully. Nobody was burning churches, nobody was carrying AK-47. So how come after the British left, we now became our brother's killer, not our brother's keeper? Now, if we can resolve that crisis, Nigeria has more than enough for every one of us.
And I'm living here with one thing, that there's a hope for you, Nigeria. And when you have people with impact and they're coming together and they're saying we want a new Nigeria, they will eventually get there. That is our resolve. With a combination of people of the IPO, the people of the press, the church, the Muslims, Nigerians as a whole, with a very strong will power. There's no how the Nigeria of our dream works. And
We are all living witness today how the press is taking on the most powerful man in the world, Donald Trump. You can see how the press in America, regardless of calling them fake news, whatever you want to call them, they are saying truth to power and holding power accountable. Let's stop this glorification of power. I know the challenges most of our press face. I understand your business model, but in doing kind of business model, always think of good, because without good we will not have a nation, and without a nation there is nothing anybody can do. We do not want our country to sink into Somalia, we don't want to go into Syria, we don't want to go into Egypt. And I'm telling you, our country as of today is on that thing approach, and everybody recognizes it, and that is the single thing that is drawing the Christians together, uniting them together, and it's also the single thing uniting the Muslims together. So please, members of the press, I beg you, in the name of God and in the name of honor, in the name of good, do good, promote, propagate this thing, tell Nigerians that this is happening, that it is happening. The rest, we will get it across to Nigerians. Thank you very much.
It is we, the followers, who dictate the stupid leaders who are taking us for a ride. When we take small rides and take 7,000 and 4,000 naira, we must get the future of our and our countrymen. And I appreciate the pastor who has been praying on behalf of the church. I served the church for 31 years. I'm in the Bible Society of Nigeria. 31 years. I was CEO for 13 years. Chairman for African Area Board for 4 years. And they asked me, all the Bibles you are translating and giving out, what is happening? Pastors go to the church. Preach Hebrew 12:14. Without holiness, no one shall see the Lord. The church is as rotten as the political party. So I think we need to wake up for revival in Nigeria. So this is the change we want to see. And then we can say, oh, here we are, Nigeria has made it. Nigeria can make it, and we can surely make it.
The event formally came to a close as BISCON crew as well as other media organizations conducted interviews with guests who gave their views on Nigeria's democracy and the forthcoming 2019 general elections.
We finally need to choose leaders with conscience, leaders who are moved by God to serve themselves and then the nation. Because don't ever lie, you cannot serve the nation if you cannot serve yourself. So we need those who are God-fearing, who also are moved to say that just like it's done in every other society, it is time that Nigeria moves and joins the rest of the progressive developing countries. That is all this is about. I will believe that this can only be achieved if we move across party lines, across religious lines, across the line of ethnicity. And then the people get to choose the best irrespective of party coloration, religious coloration, ethnic coloration, and any other coloration. Just choose the best in your locality to represent you. Somebody you can hold accountable.
Consultation with church leaders across the country. We have met quite a number of them. And it's interesting to know that the situation of the country is well clear to everyone who is the leader. Community leaders, Muslim leaders, Christian leaders, all across. Everyone has come to terms with the reality of the situation in which we find ourselves. And there's a need for us to find a way forward.
And we should go to the drawing board and say, why must a man pay 5 or 10 million naira to get the form to vie as a governorship candidate? How many people can afford 5 million to go and vie for that election? So let Nigeria just come back together and say, look, enough of this money politics. The masses are suffering. There's a very high degree of unemployment. And those who will vote there or who selected themselves there, sometimes our vote don't count, but let our votes count now. But I will challenge Nigerians, let us go and get our PVC. Let us vote and don't leave until they count our votes. By that, we'll make sure that our vote counts, we get the right people in position, and if they don't do well, we have the power in future to get them out of it. But for now, all is not well with Nigeria. Our democracy is having a problem.
It's a shame that rather than grow upwards, we're growing backwards. But I still believe we can come back. We need development plans, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 50 years development plan. These are how the so-called Western countries grew. I give example, the highways like in the United States. You start to wonder, when did this road expand? How did they expand it? They expanded these roads because they had envisaged the increase in population, the increase in vehicular population as well. So from having a two-way traffic, they go into 2 lanes, to 3 lanes, to 6 lanes, to the 12 lanes sometimes in some of the highways. So we need these development plans if we need to pick up. And a lot of things have to come in place.
From BISCON Communications, we salute the Executive Board of the Legacy Initiative International, led by Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, on the successful hosting of its maiden press conference.